Welcome back to part 3 on how to raise money from family and friends. We're now going to look at the disadvantages that can happen when somebody raises money from family and friends. The first thing that can happen that we need to avoid is the misunderstanding that can affect the relationship. Of course, family members and friends tend to be long-term. So for somebody to give you money, they probably are a long-term friend or somebody who has known you for a while. If anything goes wrong, it can affect that relationship. So, there's always a joke around the fact that if anything goes wrong, then when they come over for Thanksgiving dinner, then it's going to be awkward. There's going to be a lot of awkward silences. That can happen. But that really should only happen if the right processes have not been followed. But where the right processes have been followed, it really shouldn't happen. But people can get upset if you're unable to pay back. That's just the way life is. And that has to be a disadvantage. The second thing that can happen is that the person could be risking more money than they can afford to lose. More money than they can afford to lose. Because they're a friend, because they're a family member, their enthusiasm to help you may overshadow their relative good sense or good financial sense. And if they're not using their good financial sense when you come to ask for the money, they may be giving you more money than they can afford. And if that money gets lost in business, it can lead to trouble. So one of the things you want to do really is to find out whether they can afford to lose that money. And I know it sounds bad to ask that kind of thing, but you need to do that because sometimes a business can take longer than it should. And in your journey to become successful, you might hit some failures along the way. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. It just means that you need to learn some lessons as you go along. And part of your learning curve means you're going to have certain difficulties along the way. So if a family member's money is part of those difficulties, they may not be too happy about it. That definitely is a disadvantage. Because if let's say the investment came from a business angel and it all went pear-shaped, they're not going to be looking at you at family dinners. They're not going to be looking at you at weddings and those kind of things. No, because they're not going to be there anyway. But a family member will be there to look you in the face and point you out to their sons and daughters. That's the guy that wrecked my financial life. You really don't want that. Another disadvantage that can happen when you collect money or receive money from family and friends for a business is that the person may demand their money back when it suits them and not when it suits the business. This is so important. The person may demand their money back when it suits them, not when it suits the business. If you have a payback period within your business plan, an investor needs to wait for that payback period or for that time to mature before they can withdraw the money. You can actually have certain clauses in the business that says the business must retain at any point 25% of its turnover or of its profits. So therefore, it can only disburse what's left. Now, a family member may not be interested in all that. They gave you the money. Now they need to repair the roof of their house, and they come to you and say, you know what, can I have that 20,000 that I gave you because the roof of my house is falling down and I really need that money now. And that could be a bad time for the business to withdraw such an amount. Well, that is why you need to have an agreement that says you will only come for this money after 2 years, after 3 years, or after 6 months. Whatever the agreement is, you need to have one with a family member if they're giving you a loan or a kind of investment. The person may also want to get involved in the business. The person may want to get involved. And I've got there on my notes that they may want to get involved even if they don't know anything about running a business. They may still feel because they gave you the money, they can have a say. They can tell you what to do. They can tell you where to promote. They can tell you how to promote. They can tell you who your target market should be, just simply because they were the ones funding the business. And you may know that they have no clue about what it takes to run a business, but if they give you the money, they could choose to be involved in its day-to-day activity, and that can be a disadvantage. All right, send me an email. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'm coming back with how to raise money from family and friends. Speak to you soon.